Hi, this is Andy Hunter, Practical Wellbeing. I'd like to welcome you to one of a series of videos in which I'll be demonstrating some of the tapping techniques I've come up with over the years practicing EFT and NLP. And in this first video, I'd like to show you something called exception tapping. Exception tapping is all about working with beliefs or softening beliefs, limiting beliefs. But to say a little bit about softening the limiting beliefs, I have to talk a little bit about what beliefs are and how they're formed. So when we're born, we don't have much experience of the world. It's not surprising really. And then we grow up and we accumulate experience. We have experiences, things happen to us, we see things, we hear things, we feel things. It's a huge amount of information for a child to take in. And little by little we start gathering this information and sifting it and boiling it down into what amount to some rules of thumb, otherwise known as beliefs, some generalizations, understandings about how the world works and what things mean. Well, this process takes us a long time. We have a long childhood in which to kind of come up with all these ideas about how things work, how we are, what we're capable of, what we can do. And they're all boiled down, if you like, into our beliefs. Now, if our beliefs support us, that's very helpful. If I believe that I'm very artistic or I'm musical, I don't, by the way, but if I believe those things, then that supports me in being artistic or being musical. But we don't get to choose our beliefs, not generally anyway, and we may have come up with some beliefs that are less helpful for us. Some beliefs may be like, I'm always late, or I'm not good enough, or I can't do this, or I don't know how to do these things, or I'm not musical. Those kind of beliefs which don't support us in doing what we want to do. Now, exception tapping is one way of softening these beliefs, the belief generalizations, because if it's a generalization, the nature of a generalization is to take a lot of information, to weed things out and to kind of boil it down to a simplistic formula. Of course, you have to leave things out. Leave lots and lots of bits of information out to come up with something that's a generalization. So if I say, or I have the generalization, everybody hates me, let's say, everybody hates me, I can't possibly know that's true. Really. I mean, there are 6 billion people on the planet. I haven't met them all. There's not enough time in my lifetime to meet them all. So somewhere out there, somebody that might not hate me, somebody might actually like me. There might be a tribe in Outer Mongolia who think I'm the cat's pyjamas. But I don't register all that because I'm thinking everybody hates me. So what we need to do is to kind of inject one of these, an idea that there's some exceptions to this rule. That the rule is not hard and fast and set in concrete. So one way of doing this, and this way is inspired by Bill Hanlon, hypnotherapist and solution-oriented therapist, who does this verbally. He encourages people, if they say something like, everybody hates me, just to acknowledge that there might be exceptions by saying, except the ones that don't. Everybody hates me, except the people who don't. Nobody loves me, except the people who do. I can't do this, except when I can. So you see what we're doing here is contrasting the belief with the exceptions. Now, he just does this verbally, but how about if we add the tapping to this process? So that as well as saying the words, we're using the tapping to destabilize the system so the exceptions can go in. So let's use an example. Let's use the everybody hates me example, for example. So if I say out loud, everybody hates me, and give that a kind of a truth score, if you like. How true does that feel? Now, it doesn't feel very true for me at all. So I'm going to improvise here. So let's say it's an 8. Everybody hates me. It's an 8. It's not a very helpful belief to have in the world, really. If you think everybody hates you, that's going to make your interactions with other people quite tricky. Okay, so everybody hates me. So we start off the exception tapping with just the standard setup. So this is my stand-up setup. You've probably got one of your own. So even though everybody hates me, I accept myself and how I feel. Even though everybody hates me, I accept myself and how I feel. Even though everybody hates me, I accept myself and how I feel. And now we do the tapping, and the way we do the tapping is we use the "everybody hates me" as the first line, and then alternate with the exception, except the people who don't. Everybody hates me, except the people who don't. Everybody hates me, except the people who don't. Everybody hates me, except the people who don't. And I've gone round one full round with 4 pairs, the belief and the exception. So now I'm checking with the belief again. Everybody hates me. How's the 6? Well, what we always do in these situations is rinse and repeat. So, even though everybody hates me, accept myself and how I feel. Even though everybody hates me, accept myself and how I feel. Even though everybody hates me, accept myself and how I feel. Everybody hates me, except the people who don't. 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 Excuse me. So now I hope you're seeing the pattern. It's the belief and the exception. Now, if it was working on that particular belief, I go back, maybe it's a 3. So once again, rinse and repeat. But of course, there are more beliefs in the world than everybody hates me. So what's some other possible ways of using this? It could be, let's say, how about I can't cope? And that's just, even though I can't cope, accept myself and how I feel. Even though I can't cope, accept myself and how I feel. Even though I can't cope, accept myself and how I feel. I can't cope, except when I can. 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 So as you can see, the pattern's quite simple. It's just the belief and the exception. Now the exceptions can vary, so if it's kind of like, I'm never on time, I'm never on time except when I am. Or if it was, I'm always late except when I'm not. So you have to vary the wording slightly. But it's a very simple pattern to do. It's a very effective belief softener. Might not get all beliefs, and because there's exceptions to everything, but it's a very useful place to start because it's much simpler than most other things, and it works quite nicely, and once you get the hang of it, I think you'll find it quite a helpful thing. So that's probably enough for this video, so thanks for your kind attention. You can find this useful, and I look forward to seeing you, in a manner of speaking, on some of the other videos that I'll be putting up soon. So thanks now, and bye-bye.